I spent a lot of my life working on YouTube video scripts, and I've realized this shit is kinda hard. Thoughts are so easy when they're in your brain, but getting them down on paper, it's like my hand is being controlled by an idiot. How much you relate to this is probably dependent on how much you write yourself. Most people do not write very much, and yet they still intend to comment about writing all the time. Or even worse, they start calling poorly written movies bad, but blame other dumb shit, instead of the bad writing that is literally right in front of them. Are these people stupid? Am I stupid? Are we all stupid? Yes. Something you learn very quickly from casually lurking in the screenwriting community for a year, quality is not the main factor in getting movies made. Now, if you are some random person and you walk into Netflix's office and drop a big stinky dookie of a script on a producer's desk, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? But if you looked like The Rock, acted like The Rock, and were probably actually just The Rock and did the exact same thing, those executives would be like, yummy shit, I'm gonna gulp this right down my gullet. We're greenlighting this right away. The name of the script is Red Notice. You see the differences? When people are like, why don't Hollywood just make good written movies? It's because well-written movies generally don't have The Rock in them. And well-written movies that don't have The Rock in them, you don't frickin' watch. The Rock is definitely a bit of an outdated example here as audiences have started turning sour on him, but I'm using him as an example because studios would still rather make a movie with his star power than have to drag an audience to see an actual good movie. Of course, The Rock doesn't write his movies, professionals do. Professionals like Roberto Orci, famed writer of movies like Transformers, Transformers 2, Cowboys vs. Aliens, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Ooh, and he got a Sony Spider-Man film coming out too. Gonna have to get that one while it's hot. I think we all know the point I'm trying to make here, but he doesn't just write bullshit. Orci also wrote Mission Impossible 3 and Star Trek, which in my opinion are pretty cool movies. Along with that, Roberto didn't come into the studio with the script for The fucking Island, calling it his passion project. Do you even know what The Island is? It's a Michael Bay movie from the early 2000s. No one remembers it, so don't feel bad. As writers, you could either dive into the slop bucket or stick to your moral principles while your family goes starving. It may seem easy for you, the armchair writer, to act high and mighty oh so superior, but ultimately when you're put in the writing room and The Rock is staring at you to get the script done, you're gonna get it done. This guy came in and shit on the desk, you're not fucking with him. Thus, the relationship between the writer and the studio is going to result in some pretty terrible movies. Public sentiment would say the general quality of Hollywood movies has been pretty poor recently. Studios pushing for reboots, sequels, and cinematic universes may be good for their wallets, but it really is straining my soul. Along with that, the aspects of these movies that are blamed are often not even true. Many of the worst movies have had qualities generally assumed to be negative, but also there have been good movies that fall into the exact same categories. Original movies are being hailed as shining beacons of light in the industry, but there have been and will continue to be whack-ass original ideas being made into movies too. That's because the common denominator isn't sequels or The Rock or any other random bullshit you see people complaining about online. It's writing. Don't listen to me on this either. Listen to the guy who literally founded Pixar. In his book, which you'd be shocked I read, because I don't know how, he literally says that great people make great movies, not great ideas. If you have dumbasses in studios being the ones calling the shot, making questionable writers write dumb shit, you're gonna get bad movies. Not saying every cog in the machine is to blame, but one really rusty cog can really screw up the machine. I wanted to make this video because I feel like online discourse about movies is just as bad as the movies themselves right now. The capacity for actual critical analysis and understanding for what actually makes movies great is at an all-time low. And I'm guilty of this too. I feel like the past 5 videos I've made about movies have me just trying to describe this phenomenon without actually just making a video describing it. Which I'm doing now. Well-written movies are about complex feelings and expressing them in complex ways. Many times when I watch a good movie, I will sit down and try to write how I felt about it, but it feels almost impossible to do. Further proof that well-written movies are not developed based on some sort of concrete system, but rather smart people with a real understanding for their craft. But if you need to get a video essay out because your livelihood is dependent on it, you may look at a good movie and go, this shit is too complicated, I'm going to talk about why Marvel sucks again. Understand that while the movie industry does seem like it's collapsing, all the people involved in this supposed collapse, even the people talking about it, are just doing what they're incentivized to do. Maybe we should just cast aside the smoke and actually watch a good movie. Like Spy Kids 2. Why does my point seem less profound now?